I have yet to like share anything about my divorce online at all. People still have no clue what happened.
They don't.
No clue. Welcome back to another episode of Side Boobs and Side Hustles. I'm Brittany Farris.
And I'm Shelby Myers.
We're back at it again.
Back at it again with the podcast episode.
Yeah, today it is just us again with COVID-19 going on. It's hard to get guests, and I get it. I understand it, and I respect it.
Whatever.
We kind of want to talk to other people, but it's fine. We'll get to it.
We're used to talking to ourselves. So.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
Today we are going to get into some personal stuff
Personal shit, y'all.
The shit. We're going to try to keep it kind of lighthearted, but it is some serious stuff. I'm sure other people have experienced some of the things that we experience.
Mm-hmm. We want our listeners to get to know us personally, not superficially. So we thought that this episode, so we are uploading this kind of episode early on just so you guys can get to know us and who we actually truly are.
Yeah.
Not just two bitches doing some random ass podcast.
Yeah. And
we want it to be relatable.
Yeah. And one of my personal goals this year was to be more vulnerable. And I told myself I was going to do it on social media, and I have not yet. I have yet to share anything about my divorce online at all. People still have no clue what happened.
They don't.
No clue.
Yeah.
And it's been over a year.
Mm-hmm.
So
it really has.
The podcast is it's not a way for me to shit on the situation at all, but just to kind of have a therapy session, and people go through it. I'm not going to pretend like it didn't happen, because it did.
It was significant for you.
So that's what we're here to do.
And we're here for other people who have the same situations.
Yeah. If my story can help anyone, one single human being get out of a situation, then I am happy.
Yep. I agree.
But to start off, we're going to have a high key, low key, and
Woohoo!
You're up first because I have not thought of one yet.
So my high key is that Tyler and I got approved to buy a house.
Yay!
And so the past couple of weeks we had been house hunting, and we found, for right now, our dream house. There's nothing that we would not fix.
And it has a pool.
No, that was the first one.
Oh.
I wish. Maybe an above ground kiddie pool.
Okay, well, I'm not rewinding that.
Oh. then
Well,
God,
still a great house.
Whatever. Yeah, we love this house. There was somebody who outbidded us, but we wrote an emotional letter, sent them pictures of us, and they went with our bid.
I didn't know that. That's cute.
Yeah. I'm a very sentimental person, so it helps writing sentimental letters.
What did you say?
Do you want to know exactly what I said?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is what I wrote to the seller. Hello, it is so nice to meet you. Our names are Tyler and Shelby, and we have a 2-year-old. I'm not going to say her name. Tyler is a chemical operator at Occidental here in Wichita and has been there for 3 years, and I'm a wedding photographer and also work in the recovery unit at St. Francis, and I've been there for 5 years. When our realtor sent us pictures of your home, we were automatically excited and knew it would be a yes for us. When we actually saw the house in person, our jaws dropped. It was literally our dream home, and there was nothing we would want to change about it. Within being there for literally a minute, we started planning how our future life would be, how our furniture would be set up in the living room, what our daughter's room would look like, and the front bedroom being my office for photography. We are in our late 20s and talked about how we could see us spending the rest of our lives in this home, and we can't wait to start our lives here and build a family in this house and hear not only our daughter's little baby feet running on the hardwood, but hopefully more little feetsies in the future. We are so ready to start a family, and we want you to know that this house will be in very genuine, sweet, honest, and caring hands. Thank you so very much for your time. We truly appreciate you looking this over.
Oh my God.
Is that good?
Yeah.
I wrote it in
little feetsies.
Our little feetsies on
our
hardwood.
Little family.
Mm-hmm.
That was very sentimental.
I'm a very sentimental person.
Wow. Well, no wonder they accepted your offer.
And we sent them pictures of us 3 too.
Okay.
So, whatever. Fuck you, other families.
Losers.
Fucking losers. Sorry, I kind of cuss a little. So that was my high. We got accepted and we found the house and now we're closing on it.
Great.
The low is, so with this freaking coronavirus going around here in Kansas, my graduation has been postponed. So I'm in the surgical tech program. That's kind of like a side hustle from photography because we are working women. We want to make money.
Yes.
And I can't sit at a desk every day of my life in my house. I need to get out and talk to people. So I'm supposed to graduate in May, but my graduation got postponed and now we don't really know when it's going to be.
That's crazy that you don't know yet.
I don't know if I'm going to graduate this semester. So that sucks.
That does suck.
But take it day by day, whatever.
Yeah.
What are yours?
Mine are really boring.
That's okay. At least it's something.
My high key is that I am finally catching up on all my editing that has been backlogged.
That is good.
I've got lots of time, nowhere to go, no one to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I talk to people. I go places still, but I'm catching up. And that makes me feel good. All my weddings are getting postponed, so I'm just catching on up.
Gosh, slow business is going to be half the year, I swear.
It's going to be weird.
Whatever.
My low key is that originally when I heard we were all going to be quarantined, I was kind of excited.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out Dustin's job is essential and we're not quarantined together, so I'm
Dang
just
it.
quarantined by my damn self.
Same with Tyler.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be
boring.
really fun.
Yeah. I cleaned all. So Tyler's shifts at work are rotating.
Yeah.
And so last night he works night shift. And so last night I was just home alone by myself and I was just cleaning like a mad woman, but I had nothing better to do and I was so bored.
Yeah, I cleaned all day yesterday too. I just wanted to be quarantined with my person and hang out.
Some quality time.
Turns out life is just exactly how it was before quarantine. I'm at home and he's not, and I'm doing the same shit. So,
yep.
Not much has changed.
Basically.
Okay, so we're moving on to a little more serious stuff. Just trying to show you guys who we are, that we are real people. We have real struggles.
We're not robots or putting on a front for anybody.
No. So with the whole COVID-19 thing, how are you handling it? How is it affecting your work, your school, your personal life? You came over here bringing all of your stress into my house.
I did.
And I can tell it's really affecting you. So
Negative energy.
I think you need to talk about it.
I do. I really do.
You need a good therapy sesh.
So how I am as a person, when I'm stressed out, I don't really tell anybody. Like, I might say I'm stressed, but I'm probably freaking out on the inside. I do very good with not necessarily hiding my emotions, but I, for the most part, try not to complain about serious things. I might complain about little things like being hangry and stuff like that, but I just need to vent.
Yeah, I don't think you complain that much. I am a very intuitive person, so even if you don't say anything to me, I'm like, this bitch is going through some shit, and I can feel it, and I need to light some sage in my house because
literally there's sagebrush on her table right now.
Forever saging.
It made me relax, honestly. It was weird. It was very weird. It worked.
It's magic.
So I'm very overwhelmed in all aspects of my life right now. When it comes to working with photography at the hospital, and now this new job for surgical technology that I'm supposed to start after I graduate, but who knows when that's going to be. All of that's really taking a toll. It's taking up most of my time, and not having a definite date on when things are going to be or get done or when I can start this new job is very stressful to me.
Yeah, it's hard to
I'm very
plan
impatient
for your future.
Well, yeah, especially with buying this house. Like, I want to know what I need to do when I need to do it. And that's just how I've always been. So that's giving me a lot of anxiety. And with photography, we have all these couples either like rescheduling their wedding dates or canceling completely because they book a day that we are not available. And that's a struggle itself, because now we don't have any weddings coming up. And in the fall, I feel like is when people are rescheduling all their shit. And we are already so busy in the fall. So now I'm extra busy.
Yeah. And there's also like the risk of them rescheduling, and they've already paid you. So now you're refunding somebody thousands of dollars.
Yeah. And
that I don't have anymore because you paid me a long time ago.
Well, that fucking sucks when you're buying a house too,
Yeah.
when you're trying to get your down payment and everything. And it's just, everything is very uncertain. And I think that's what bugs me the most, because I am a planner to a T. I'm very impatient in aspects like this. Like if it's just like day-to-day life, I'm fine with whatever.
Yeah.
But work is serious, buying a house is serious, school is serious. I need to know. It's bugging me.
Yeah.
And school is a personal struggle, I feel, just because I don't know when I'm going to graduate. And it's affecting my personal life. Like, I don't ever see my parents. I don't ever talk to them. I don't ever talk to my sister, because I'm just overwhelmed and so busy doing everything else and trying to make my couples happy. And some things get neglected and other things get put up to the front line, and that's just how it's going to be for a little while. And it's hard coming to terms with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, obviously everybody is kind of struggling from COVID-19 and it sucks, but on a lighter note, how's your relationship with Tyler?
With Tyler?
Yes. I mean, obviously you're
So,
buying a house. So
obviously we're buying a house, so it's
It's got to
pretty,
be going pretty tight.
It's tight.
Tight.
Ooh. I'm sorry. I'm so dirty minded, guys. You're going to realize that pretty soon, pretty quickly.
Your whole backstory is kind of long, but can you like briefly like talk about how long you've been together and stuff?
Tyler and I have not been together for very long. It's been less than a year since we've been together, but yes, we are buying a house. A lot of people think I'm crazy and don't think it's a good idea, but the way I see it, and I'm sure I damn well know Brittany agrees with me, you can be with somebody for 2 years and not know who they are, but you could be with somebody for 2 months and know everything about them, know you want to spend the rest of your life with them.
Yep.
Like she was in the same situation with as I am for a little while. So yeah, with Tyler, we've been together less than a year, but he is the love of my life.
Yes.
He does have a 2-year-old daughter, who is not mine, but I treat her like she's mine. I love her to death. I would do anything for that little girl.
What is it like transitioning into that role?
Having no children.
Yeah,
to
that's not
her.
something you're like educated. That's not something you can learn.
Yes. So in that aspect, I have always loved babies and kids. When I was growing up, I was always babysitting the neighborhood kids. I think honestly it's more attractive when a guy does have a kid, because I can see who he is as a father.
Yeah.
If I were to ever have kids with him, I would know how he acts with his own children.
Yeah.
And I think Tyler's such a great father to his daughter. I was in a past relationship with a guy who had a daughter, and that guy was also a great father, but I just see these little things about Tyler and how he acts around her, and it's just, it sounds pretty cliche and cheesy, but it's just amazing to watch them two hang out together and think that is my future.
Yeah.
And transitioning into Tyler and I, like, we're not engaged, we're still just dating, but transitioning into the role of being possibly a stepmom, it's weird to think about just because I've never thought about that, even with the past guy I was dating. But I absolutely, like, I don't expect her to call me mom. I don't want her to call me mom. I don't want to act like her mom, but I do want to be an important woman figure in this little girl's life.
Yeah, like a good influence.
Yes, I want her to feel like she can come to me for anything, and I'm not going to judge her for what she's done, but I will tell her my thoughts and opinions and try to be supportive, and I am just so excited for the future with Tyler and her.
Yeah, watching her grow up.
Yes, and it's
so cute.
It's at a good age also where I'm coming into her life, because it would be different if she was like 16.
Yeah, that would be rough.
That would be very weird. But she tells me she loves me all the time. Aww. She gives me hugs.
That's cute.
The other day, oh my gosh. The other day, she was crying and crying. We were at one of Tyler's aunt and uncle's houses, and she just didn't feel comfortable there. It's not her home, and she really needed to take a nap. So when she woke up, she was still grumpy, and she chose me over Tyler.
Oh,
I know.
that's sweet.
Oh my goodness.
Baby fever.
Oh God, it's horrible. I want babies. I've wanted babies for a long time, but especially now.
Do you think you will soon?
We both agree that we want to be married.
Yeah.
Before it happens, obviously, but within the next couple of years, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think with Tyler and I, like, we know what we want. We know that we want to be in each other's lives. And we, like, we couldn't see each other with somebody else and ourselves with somebody else. So with Tyler and I, it's all, like, kind of fast paced, but we're definitely okay with it and we are comfortable with it.
Yeah.
A lot of people might think that we're, like, in over our heads a little bit, but we don't think that at all, and we're completely comfortable with each other. And so I think in, like, the near future, there might be room for marriage and babies in the next couple of years.
It's crazy the social influence and input that the society just has on relationships and what they think is right and acceptable. And, like, I know when Dustin and I got together, so kind of short backstory, I moved in with Dustin before we were even dating.
Yeah, you guys were roommates.
Yeah, we were roommates. Big, like, new girl kind of vibe. But I mean, we hit it off immediately.
Yeah. Brittany moved into, do you know one of the guys from high school?
I know both of them.
You knew both of them?
Yeah.
So yeah, she knew both of them before there were two guys. She moved in with them, and that's kind of when her and Dustin.
Yeah. I don't know, just like he just cared so much about what I had gone through, and just,
which no guy really ever had.
I mean, he cared so much, and it was crazy. So I'm living with this person, and we kind of kept it a secret for a while. But then when we did, like, say we were dating, even, like, we moved out of that house and got our own house. My mom even is like, aren't you guys moving too fast? Are you sure you need to be doing that? Like,
yeah, time
just doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
But it is hard. Like, you do deal with it and people judging you, and
it's like people are always doubting you.
Yeah. And
they don't even have to say anything. You can just tell by their energy and their vibe.
It sucks that you have to, like, stick up for yourself, and
you have to justify all your moves when you shouldn't have to. Like, if you're comfortable with it and you feel like it's the right thing to do, then fucking do it. And that's all people should care about, is if you're doing okay.
Yeah. And even, like, early on in our relationship, I would say he didn't necessarily want to keep it a secret. He just kind of felt weird. I mean, we got together before my divorce was finalized 100%.
Yes.
So I think he felt weird about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't care. This feels right to me.
Yeah. You knew where you stood.
Yeah.
But it's understandable that he also felt that way.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people's input. Everyone's watching you all the time.
Yeah.
And it sucks that you have to justify every move that you make.
Yes.
Especially to, like, your loved ones.
Well, especially, like, in your situation, because I feel like a lot of people could take it the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't know the whole story. They just probably know one side of it.
Yeah.
And that, like, really takes a toll on you and your confidence also. And I feel like for a lot of people, maybe not necessarily Brittany and I, but it might make them question themselves more than they would have, like, on their own.
Yeah.
If they think they're making the right choice.
Yeah, I would definitely say a lot of people probably thought that our relationship started before I left my marriage.
Yeah, before you decided.
Is not true.
Yeah, and it sucks because
they were so close together. I understand why people make that assumption, but I'm a big believer in, like, energies, and I had been, like, manifesting this relationship that my ex was never, I envisioned this person, my ex was never going to be that person. And as soon as I cut the strings of, like, giving my energy to this other human, that's when I got everything I ever wanted and everything I needed.
Yes.
And it came fast and hard, but I wasn't going to question it. Like, why would I turn down something good just because of timing?
Yeah, that's exactly how it was with my ex and Tyler now.
Yeah.
So
you can't control it, and I'm not.
This is why Brittany and I get along, because I feel like for the most part we've been through this somewhat the same thing, or, like, we're always, like, in the same situation. Like, haven't gone through divorce, but we always just kind of end up in the same situation.
Situations.
The same situations.
Yes.
God, that's the redneck in me coming out.
Did we already talk about buying a house?
Kind of, yeah.
Wow.
That was my high. Back with what you said about timing. I completely agree, because I was talking to a guy all of 2019 and basically told him it wasn't going to work out, and he showed up at my doorstep at 1:45 in the morning on a Thursday morning. And long story short, we talked about our issues and our problems and hung out the whole day and tried to figure out what we could do, but it didn't make any progress, and I still felt the same way. And 3 days later, my roommates tell me to download this Bumble app that I had never heard of, which now it's, if you've never heard of it, it's like a classier version of Tinder.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that he was even actually on that.
That's funny.
But that's how I met Tyler. We always tell people that we met at a concert. So
Do you really?
kind of, yeah.
I was listening to something recently, and a lot of people make up other stories because they don't want to say they met on a dating app.
Well, I don't believe in dating apps. I feel like they're very forced and very awkward.
Yeah.
And I feel like people try to put on a front before you get to know them, if you're messaging them through that, versus meeting them in person or through mutual friends, something like that. But with Tyler and I, like, the first date, I knew I was going to marry this guy.
Yeah.
And so, like, really, though, if you're out there and you're listening to this and you've been with somebody for however many months, years, however much time you spent with this person, and it's just not clicking, then there's somebody else out there for you.
Yeah.
And that's what Brittany and I are trying to tell you.
It's crazy. It's what
I can't wrap
you
my head around
know is just, you don't know anything.
Fuck you. Fuck your thoughts and feelings.
If you're in a even relatively not good situation,
you know when you're in a good situation.
Yeah.
You know.
But you don't know when you're in a bad one. It doesn't make any sense to me. And
yeah, and you know that personally too.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to explain.
I can only say my situation, my 7-year relationship, was married for 2 years. I could never say this stuff while I was in it, but now that I'm out of it, I know what I was doing. But when you're in it, you don't know. You just learn like autopilot, and I'm such a giving person. Like, oh, we're going to do what you want to do. I'm going to move here, and I'm going to be friends with your friends. Your life is my life.
Brittany was very submissive in all aspects, and she didn't realize it.
No, I had no clue.
She met Dustin.
Yeah, I didn't know.
But she did decide, like, this is not who I am. Like, once you wake up and that's how you feel, then it's game over for the other person.
Yeah,
like,
as soon as
you're off to better things.
Yeah, as soon as I started seeing it, I was really mad at myself for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I started doing the work about a year before I actually left. I just kind of sat down and like read books and talked to people and learned about what a healthy relationship was. I was hanging out with people that were in healthy relationships.
And not even just like a relationship with your significant other. She was becoming more of a freelancer and starting to do her own work.
Yeah.
She didn't have a 9-to-5 job anymore. And, you know, when you have healthy relationship with just people in general, you realize where the bad relationships fall.
Yeah. I started to see, I think what it all ties down to is that I didn't love myself back then.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I never would have let somebody treat me the way that he treated me.
Yes, I think all of us, some people are lucky and don't have to do this, but I think all of us have to go through a time period where we don't love ourselves.
Yeah.
To benefit and to exceed in life.
Yeah, it's the only explanation that I have to have allowed somebody. And to this day, I still don't think that he understands what he did. And it's not like one thing just happened. It was 7 years of the same human being doing the same things over and over.
Yes.
And
you don't realize you're drowning until you yourself, you first have to get out of it.
Yeah.
And you have to realize that there's better things out there for you. And then I swear the second that happens to you, you find
what you need.
Like the love of your life.
Yeah. Being submissive. Maybe I was a people pleaser.
Yes. I think you were all the things.
I discovered,
giving-wise.
yeah, if he didn't like something, I didn't do it. If he wanted something done a certain way, I did it that way. But then it turned into like this crazy, first of all, the anger, the yelling, the crazy neurotic,
Pulling you out of a truck
just
by your boot.
yeah, taking things way too far, emotionally abusive, definitely crossed the line physically a few times. Never hit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say that because that did not happen, but crossing a line regardless. But you loved somebody, so you continue to love somebody,
And you couldn't.
I want you to do all these things. I'm a very big like treat people the way you want to be treated. So like I did everything. I gave everything, and I did things the way he wanted them done. I opened the blinds the way that he wanted them done. The toilet paper, like tiny minuscule things that don't matter. I did it all because that's what I wanted someone to do for me, and it was never going to happen.
Yeah.
I was never going to get that in return from him.
No. Like, it would be mini heartbreak after mini heartbreak. You would do all these little things that you think that they would like, and they end up just ripping you to shreds and ripping you apart.
Yeah.
And it's like heartbreak after heartbreak, but you think that that's what's normal because you love this person, but you're really just blindsided.
Yeah. And it's crazy.
It's weird to be like step outside of the bubble and see everything that you had gone through, or just in general, like people doing that to themselves. And
what I learned is that his love was very conditional. He loved me when I was his version of me.
The right kind of person.
When I did things, his checklist of things during the day. And you don't realize.
It's superficial.
Yeah. It's scary.
Not eternal.
I was scared. I mean, his anger was scary. It was a scary thing.
And it's walking on ice 24/7.
Always. And I didn't realize how bad that part of it was until I was out too. I had gone to like, it wasn't really it's not a party. It was like a gathering of people. People were drinking, and something had fallen and broke. And I heard the sound of it, and I like jumped, and my heart sank to my stomach. And immediately I was like, what did I do? I thought it was my fault. I had nothing to do with the situation that just happened, but I was so conditioned to thinking that everything was my fault and that I fuck up everything and that I was a fuck.
Yeah.
That I thought that sound and that person yelling was my fault.
Yeah.
And I literally like walked away and cried because I was like, holy fuck. Like, look at how this has conditioned me. Like, this has made me scared of anyone yelling. Like, I can't stand yelling because I'm terrified. Like, I have been yelled at so many times.
Traumatized in a way.
So much trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happened, I was like, oh my gosh, that has nothing to do with me.
So with all that being said, with you and your past relationship and kind of explaining to the listeners how you and Dustin met, how do you compare your relationship with Dustin now to the relationship you had previously, and what you guys haven't been together? You guys have been together for like a year. So what's different in like the timelines? Like, you were together with your ex for a long time versus Dustin, who's been a year. Like, what's the difference?
Right away with Dustin, I would say a few days in, I was like, fuck. I'm in love. Fuck timing. Everyone's gonna think that I'm a cheater and that I was cheating this whole time. Yeah. And that sucked.
Yes.
He's just compassionate and thoughtful and understanding and patient.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I remember just staring at him, and I just started crying, and he was like, what's wrong? Mm-hmm. And this was very early on too. And I was like, I just love you so much. Oh. You're so nice. And he's like, is that really why you're crying? And I was like, yeah.
Yes, actually. Like, you don't know what it's like.
Like, when you experience something different.
Mm-hmm. How long have you known him? How long had you known him prior to saying you love him?
I mean, I've known him since high school. But how long had we?
Yes. How long has this situation?
I think I told him like a month in. Maybe 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. But we both kind of hinted at it before, but we both were like, I don't know if we should say that this early. Mm-hmm. Like, stereotyping ourselves pretty much. Putting ourselves into that situation.
Thank you, social influencing.
Yeah. But it's just different. It's crazy. It's
everything.
Like
180.
It's everything I wanted. Just hit me.
slap in the face.
And I very easily could have been like, this is too, like, just let my ego take over. I mean, like, this is too soon.
It's surprising after everything that had happened that you still let yourself be vulnerable. And I feel like that's very hard for a lot of people.
It was hard.
A lot of people have their guard up. But I feel like when you meet the right person, then it's just easy and comfortable.
Yeah. I had to talk to myself a lot and be like, don't say no to good. Like, that's not going to solve anything. That's not the problem. Your problems are done. You're moving on.
Well, it's hard to change your mindset that quickly too. Yeah. And it's just a lot of baby steps, and it's a lot of like self-help for yourself too.
Yes. You have to love yourself and let yourself be loved.
You do. Can't build walls.
No.
Those are good things for you in all aspects.
Yeah. Yeah, so we both just have really similar situations as far as meeting somebody and falling hard really fast straight out of the gate of like another relationship.
Yes. And I feel like it sounds bad, but you have to do what's best for yourself. You have to do what you think is right for yourself.
Yeah.
Because like, yes, you want to please everybody else, and you want to put everybody else first, and it's really hard to put yourself first.
It's very hard.
But the second that you do it
just opens up a whole world.
I can't even put it into words. That's I can't. You don't know what it's like until you experience it. And people can tell you so many ways and so many different ways and help you out. And you're not going to know what it's like until you do it for yourself, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I just feel, I don't know if why I stayed as long as I did or why I couldn't.
You didn't realize it until you didn't realize anything was wrong. And I feel like a lot of people are like this. You don't realize anything is wrong until you've reached like rock bottom for yourself personally.
Yeah.
And then once you've reached rock bottom and you're there for a while, then you're like, I'm done with this. I'm tired of this. This is pathetic, and I'm being pathetic, and I don't love myself anymore. And how do I get back to that point? And then I feel like that's where you sat on it for a year because I felt like you wanted to stay with him because that's the normal thing for people to do. People don't want divorces.
No, I was like, I have to put in the work. I have to do this or I'm failed.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And a lot of people know it's something they probably don't want, but they try like one last time to say that they could give it their all. And if that's what you feel like you have to do sometimes, then do it. But I think once you reach that rock bottom, then you realize like self-actualization and where you're at, and you're like, I'm done with this. I'm tired of this. Yeah. And it took
your worth.
Yeah. It took you the year of deciding what you felt was right and what you were comfortable with. And ultimately you decided to leave him. And that's the best decision you've ever made in your whole life.
Yeah. And another thing that I struggled with was there's a fine line between, being toxic, being mentally abusive, and then actually crossing over to like physical abuse. Mm-hmm. And I was afraid that people wouldn't think it was valid if I wasn't in the physical abuse side of it. And I think that other people probably are there. And I kept saying in my head, like, okay, you want me to let it get that far? Because it easily could.
Yeah. It could.
I don't.
Any kind of abuse can lead to any other kind of abuse.
Yeah.
And a lot of people only think about physical abuse.
They don't think about the reason to leave.
Yeah. They don't think about mental abuse, emotional abuse, psychological
anger,
psychological toll that has, the time wasted. Like, yes, physical abuse is bad, but emotional, mental, like that is just as bad. If you're
just scared to like have an opinion on something because you're afraid that you're going to get backlash, like that's not okay.
If you're scared to be around them.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people who are in these kinds of relationships feel like it's normal and they don't know any better. Like they really don't. They truly don't know any better until they see like a better version of what they could have. But people just don't know.
Yeah. I just want to like emphasize you do not have to be in the physical abuse segment to leave. Like there are valid reasons to leave outside of that.
We need to do a whole entire episode on all of the, I feel like you and I have never been through like physical abuse, but we've been through a lot of emotional abuse.
Yeah.
Not necessarily just in relationships.
Yeah.
But just in different aspects, like parents.
Yeah.
Friends. We need to do an episode on that.
I think everybody has traumas. I think a lot of people don't realize that they have trauma because they kind of brush it under the rug. I mean, I didn't realize all the things I've been through until I sat down and was like, oh, all those things
like, oh,
affected me.
Yeah.
They mattered and they are traumatic.
Yeah. But it's also made you who you are now.
Yeah.
So there's always a blessing in disguise, even in the worst possible situation. I think I very much believe that. Yeah.
So by no means are we relationship experts, but if anybody ever needs somebody to talk to, like, please tell us. I mean, we'll help.
Yeah.
As much as we can.
And like obviously we're not experts on the situation. No. We're just trying to tell everybody like what we've been through, and we kind of just need like a good vent sesh also.
Yeah, we're just,
if you want to vent to us, we don't give a fuck.
It might make you feel better, and maybe like
if you want to be anonymous, email us, do whatever.
Yeah. We
don't care. Yeah. We just want to help people, honestly. And we just want to talk about anything and everything in life.
Yeah, I want to be relatable. I don't want people to think that I'm
relatable is the key word.
Yeah.
We don't want to put fronts on.
Yeah, well, this episode was a little bit serious.
But we didn't want to make it too long and too serious. That's why it's kind of a little baby.
Yeah, we're going to cut it short. But if anybody has questions or
comments,
suggestions for other things that you want to learn about or hear about or guests that you want us to talk to,
let us know. Hit us up.
And
in the best possible way
to like and subscribe.
Woohoo!
At sideboobs.sidehustles on Instagram. Shelby's woo-wooing.
I am.
Woo-woo.
Reminds me of Tyler's friend. He always woo-hoos everything.
That's a redneck thing.
Oh, it's so redneck and
big redneck vibes.
Shout out to Kale.
So, hit us up.
Peace out.
Thanks for listening.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. I'm going to show you it. Okay, bye, y'all.
Bye.